Oh, we're off racing. It's not a PvP. Let's go. It is not a Protoss versus Protoss. It is going to be a Protoss versus a Zerg. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have usually the Protoss player, but here he is playing Zerg, dabbling in the light side. The red Zerg representing Virtus Pro, it is the American Hope, Astrea. The NA Hope himself, picking the Zerg race. He knows who's casting, he knows what we want. We want some diversity. Let's go. Now, this is not the first time we've casted Astrea off race. If you are familiar with the channel, if you've been following the CranKy Ducklings, you would know that especially when both Astrea and Future were in Korea, this was last year at this point. My god, it's already been a year, but this was last year, first half of 2023. They faced off many times in tournaments, and whenever they faced off, they would often off race. You know, you'd have Astrea playing Terran, you'd have Future playing Protoss, you'd have Astrea playing Zerg, and Future playing Pro. Yeah, they'd have fun with each other. They'd mix and match, not just in whenever they face off against each other, but even in other tournaments as well. Astrea, he often does like to have fun and off race whenever he sees an opportunity. I think famously, Astrea off raced played Terran against Pig, and I think Pig beat him. This was like in 2021, like relatively recently, but still a couple of years ago. But yeah, like Astrea, he's always willing to off race and always willing to have fun here. There's a reason why a lot of Astrea, he's got the nickname, you know, like the clown of NA. Like, he embraces NA more than any, and it's like he doesn't take things seriously. He does, like, don't get us wrong, clearly, like, he's a serious competitor, but he likes to, you know, mix his business with his fun whenever he can, and we appreciate him for it. Do appreciate him. And I'm sure if he takes a loss in game 1, then he will switch to his main race. I'm sure he will. We'll see. We'll see. As he is allowed to. He's allowed to. For now, it is going to be Hatchcat's full standard opener out of Astrea. Meanwhile, across the map, MasTeR is opening up with a gate expand into Cybercore. What I will say is that even though MasTeR is a very strong player, Astrea, his off races isn't too bad. When it comes to both his Zerg and his Terran, I believe he is GM with both Terran and Zerg as well. So definitely something to be respected. Now, clearly, and obviously because this is his off race, Astrea has less experience with certain scenarios. He's not the most well-versed when it comes to his Zerg. So it's going to be, I would say, an uphill battle for Astrea. I do want to give the edge to MasTeR, but I'm only really saying that because it's been a while since I've casted Astrea's Zerg. I think it's been like a year. Unironically, I think it's been like 12 months, maybe even more than that since I've last seen Astrea off races Zerg. I think I've seen his Terran more recently. So yeah, it's hard to judge kind of how he compares to MasTeR at the moment, especially considering that MasTeR has been practicing once again. MasTeR stepped away for a while. A lot of the Latin American players stepped away for a while, but some of them have returned, and as of late, Brazilian tournaments have been popping up. Again, if you've been tuning in, especially last week, we did cast the Code for Giants Cup, which is a Brazilian-only tournament, and likewise, Amantis has been running as well. MasTeR has been on the grind set of covering these events, competing in these events, and doing well in them. So MasTeR is more and more in form as the weeks go on. Overlord Scout is coming in. It's going to be a Void Ray opener here by MasTeR. I love the choice of the Void Ray going for the Oracle as a follow-up. Astrea does confirm the Oracle, but with the arrival of the Void Ray, this could once again be a fast Twilight Council before third base. We're going for some glaives, papi. We're going for glaive adepts. Let's go, as Astrea across the map is currently in the dark. Now, we saw a very similar build last game against Orden. If you were here for it, you would know that against Orden, he went for a fast lair as well. He's crazy! Oh my god, I'm getting deja vu! Astrea, he's playing like Orden. He was watching the stream. So if you remember last series, Orden went for a fast lair. Now, Orden's lair was 3-minute 30. This is around a 4-minute lair timing. Regardless, very fast lair. Very fast lair here out of Astrea. This could be a couple of different things. We could be working towards fast Hydras, or this could be for a Nidus-based all-in. This could be for... If we had Overlord speed, I would assume this is going to be a German taxi. Regardless, aggression is on the horizon for Astrea. Very tech-heavy here. We'll keep an eye on what the lair is going to be for. Meanwhile, thankfully, safety Roach Warren. Safety Roach one out of Astrea. He knows that if it's a Void Ray opener, there is a big chance it's going to be Glaive Adepts. So we need to be careful, we need to be safe, and we need to get into those Roaches. But the Adepts, they've arrived! The initial Vanilla Adepts, they are here, and 4 drones, 5 drones already going down. Oh, Astrea losing far too much. 6 workers fall initially, and that is not even MasTeR's final form. It's not even his final form. 2 probes go down. The Void Ray and the Oracle do defend. Adepts are on the horizon here. Glaive's about to finish up. There are some spotter lings. Astrea's droning. Astrea's droning up, taking extra gases. What is the layer for? Taking all 6 gases, actually. Very greedy here by Astrea, and I imagine this should be for some kind of tech structure. For now, +1 range and Roach speed. It looks like we, for now, are investing into Roach Ravager, but we're still droning. Look at the units tab. 5 lings. This is the army. This is the army we have right now. More lings on the way. We need roaches. We need larvae. We need something. Adepts are coming, and Astrea's not ready. Astrea's not prepared. Spores are on the way. We have 7 queens to defend. That's a better queen count than what Orden had. But this is going to be a tough hold for Astrea. Going to be very impressive if he can minimize his losses and preserve his drones. So far, we fully wall off. Very nicely done. The wall is under fire. And yeah, we're busting down the door. We're busting our way in. That's a kill, not a cancel on the Evo chamber. We get into the mineral line. Astrea, he's in trouble. We do get our first drone kill. Shading backwards towards the 3rd base. Once again, getting 10 drones. We do not quite fully wall off. We can threaten the shade. 11 drone kills so far. Not bad. And Adepts, ooh, they have denied that shade. The shade is denied. We can try to focus on some of these roaches, but Astrea, he's holding, again, very clutch control here with his wall-offs. In total, we've lost 17 drones. But it could have been worse. It could have been worse here. Again, if MasTeR had shaded towards the main instead of towards the 3rd base, I think we could have gotten even more damage done. And we still get 2 more drones, but looks like the pressure is being alleviated. The Adepts are being shut down. Astrea has held, but at what cost? The reality is MasTeR has an economic lead. MasTeR, he's ahead economically. He's already saturated on 3 bases. He's got better saturation than that of Astrea, and we're working towards our Blink follow-up. Muta's on the way. Spire tech? Ooh, well, now we know what the lair was for. Now we know what the gases were for. It's gonna be Spire. I assumed it was gonna be Hydras, but Spire instead. Forge is delayed. Okay, this is a shaky follow-up out of MasTeR. This Forge should have been a little bit faster in line with the Blink timing, so +1 is going to be later than usual. Blink is done, and we gotta go. We gotta push here and now. We have to punish Astrea before this Spire gets up and running. Here comes that punish. What does Astrea have to work with? He has 19 roaches, as many roaches as there are stalkers. But we also have the Oracle to help fortify, or the Oracle to help support. We have the Void Ray as well. Here comes the Risen. We catch the queens. 1, 2, soon to be 3 queens going down. 3rd queen does survive. We can still engage. We have Blink. We can still engage. We catch the roaches. Stasis trap does go off. Massive stasis here for MasTeR. Reinforcements on the way. MasTeR pushing in. Astrea, he's in trouble. Astrea is in trouble. We have no starter +1. Again, MasTeR back at home. He is struggling a little bit. Wouldn't be surprised if Nurs were a bit of a factor. Boys are being pulled. They have to be. Stasis trap is baited out. Not ideal. The other roaches, they do pop out of stasis. And Astrea, he's getting on top of this. Getting on top of the army. We're missing some blinks. Another additional warp in though, and it looks like we have too much. It looks like the Stalker army is overwhelming Astrea. Roaches are falling, Lings as well. MasTeR, has he barely done it? It looks like he has. And the defensive line of Astrea, it's falling. The hatchery, it's gonna go down as well. Boys are being pulled away in a desperation move to save them. Lings are trickling in. You have Ravagers on the way. Maybe we can pile down that Prism. Potentially. The Lings, they're coming in from behind, forcing out a Blink. Oh, that was a big Blink from MasTeR. And not ideal. Stalkers are getting locked down. Can we focus on the Ravager? The Vials, they take down the Prism. The Prism goes down, unable to avoid the Vials. And Astrea is holding. Astrea is holding on again. MasTeR, he did slip up with his control. Remember, he did skip out on +1 attack. So upgrade-wise, he's falling behind. Again, the execution here from MasTeR was a little bit shaky, and as a result, Astrea, he is still in this. It's still not a clean game out of Astrea. He's still not out of the woods yet. Once we're looking to catch out some of this army. MasTeR, suddenly he's pretty committed. He's pretty all in. He's going to attempt to expand here. Who is it? No! Now it's not the time. You're so close, MasTeR.
Game paused.
Looks like a bit of latency, and hopefully everything is okay. There we go, so we're getting back in. Now, Astrea, he has double expanded, or he has a back on 4th base that he's now saturating. Ravagers did finish up. Corruptor's coming in to help support, not Mutas. Oh, and the longer this goes on, the better it is for Astrea. He's got +2. He's got +2. He's now got better saturation than the Protoss player. He's getting a 5th base. No hive tech, no further tech whatsoever, but yeah, the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Astrea. MasTeR, he's got to go. He's got to send it. Now going for +1, now going for the Temple Archives. This could have been thrown down in the midst of the attack, but again, we just weren't able to. We didn't have the breathing room to throw down that tech and throw down those upgrades. As a result, Astrea, he's getting away with it. Hasn't gotten away with it yet. As Lings go for a counterattack to force a defensive warp in, they force back the army for a moment as well. Do catch a Corruptor, but again, we got to keep on pushing. Things dipping in. We do blink back. Oh, the Wiles! Yeah, the Void Ray goes down. MasTeR unable to blink in time. Or again, he just overreacted with some of those blinks. Lings, they get ready for a surround. Yeah, once again, we blink the entire army. We're getting caught out. Yeah, massive catch here for Astrea. He's getting us around on these Stalkers. And Stalkers on their own against Link Ravager, you can see how much they struggle. We need Zealots. We need Archons. We need some kind of anchor point here for the army. That's what the Templar Archives was for. Here's what it was for. Adepts, they can help. Adepts, they do help with this. We avoid the vials. We're gaining ground. Now we do have something to fall back to. Going for the base. The hatchery will fall. Once again, the drones will escape. Drones will evacuate. They're going to be rotating over towards the backup 4th. From here, we can rotate over as well. But we catch a tumor, but not quite the active tumor. We did miss it. Did miss the tumor in the end. I would love to see some Archons. Hive Tech is on the way. Archons are moving in. We got Adepts towards the left-hand side, and can Astrea split up his army? We do cancel the Shade. Lings are caught out. I believe Archons have been morphed in, but they're defensively back at home. MasTeR is looking quite exposed, actually. We can't collapse on this. Yeah, we're deep on creep. We're going for the surround. Oh, MasTeR, this is not what we need it to be. We anticipate the blink. Archons are not here. We need the Archons. And MasTeR bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. At the same time, we do shade behind the mineral line. We're getting cleaned up by the Lings. Not ideal trades here for MasTeR. At least there's no Lurker tech. Because of that, MasTeR still has a chance. Like, I don't want to count MasTeR out yet. Just because, you know, the quality of Astrea's army is still Ling Ravager, which means we can still fight back against it, especially with things like Storm and Archons. I believe there is no Storm researched. Yeah, there's no Storm. We have +1, +2 is still halfway done. Astrea's maxing out. That's a lot of Ravagers. There's a lot of Ravagers here for Astrea. I'm not sure 3 Archons will be enough to really make up for the difference here. Archons are being targeted down. The Vials. So far, nice splits here out of MasTeR. The Lings are going down. We have the overcharge as well. Yeah, we clean up the Lings. The Ravagers are exposed. We have to punish this. Do we blink on forward? Not quite. Yeah, the Ravagers, they survive. We bled out Lings. As soon as the Lings went down, Astrea backs off. Like, he's playing this quite well. Where he's preserving his Ravagers as best he can. He knows that these Ravagers, without them, he will just fall over. The Muta's on the way. Infestor for Fungals. It does feel like we need more urgency out of MasTeR because he has no further attack. Like, if he had Disruptors or Colossus or Immortals, then I'd be okay with sitting back. I'd be okay with us just chilling and expanding and being more defensive. But with what MasTeR has right now, like, we gotta go. We need to be active. Mutas are revealed. We shut down the Prism. Storm is on the way. We are getting ready defensively here with Stack Defense. Greater Spiral on the way for Astrea. Yes, Basel, they take down the High Templar. Very nice pick of High Templar go down. Oh, they were designed to back up Benji for the storms. As we're blinking on forward, Lings are going down. Not a bad defense here out of MasTeR. And ooh, the mutas are deflected. We do keep up. Unfortunately, despite Storm about to finish, we have no High Templar. We have no Templar ready. We do need to warp them in. If we had some High Templar, I want to say like even 3 High Templar would be enough to keep pushing and to move out across the map and to potentially snowball out of control. As mutas, they catch some more workers. Greater Spire's about to finish. No Corruptors yet. We're not ready for Broodlords, but almost. There we go. 7 High Templar now being morphed in. It's going to take us some time for them to gather up energy, though. It is going to take time. But I do now favor MasTeR's army. Like, look how many Archons we have. We have 5 Archons, 7 High Templar, each potentially with 1 Storm. Like, we can move out, but if we wait any longer, we've got a fleet. I mean, we throw it in a fleet beacon. We have a Bayless on the way. Infestors are amassing. We're getting caught out of position. We're going for the 3rd. Fungal does connect. Oh, the Biles! Ooh, they take down a good chunk of Stalkers. Fungal once again. Astrea just picking the army apart. Lings likewise wreaking havoc in the mineral line as well. There's 1 Adept. So far, we do avoid the Biles. How many High Templar do we have left? 1 High Templar? Unfortunately, just having a really hard time preserving the High Templar to actually have Storms. If we had them, it'd be a different story. Split's not looking too bad, but 1, 2, 3 Archons full. Yeah, MasTeR is bleeding out too much. Bleeding out far too much at this point. Yeah, the +2 Ravagers coming into play. We're diving in the army. Whilst once again, they take down another Archon. We're getting on some of these Ravagers at least. Are getting on some of them. Reinforcing with more Stalkers. But this is just a really desperation push out of MasTeR. At the same time, we do defend against the mutas. Yeah, Massling is all we need. Massling. The Fungal connects. We have more Infestors and Astrea. Yeah, he can have his way with this army. At this point, MasTeR is being outscaled. We had potential for all these spellcasters earlier. We had 7 High Templar. Now we're down to 1. We do warp in 5 more, but we're morphing them into Archons. And Astrea looking a little more comfortable now. Shout out to MasTeR. Again, he almost brought Astrea down multiple times in this game. He had a lot of potential. And Astrea was up against the ropes. This was not an easy one for Astrea, but I mean, now he's settling it. Like now it now we're maxed out again. Working on 3-3. The biggest moment here for MasTeR is going to be if he can somehow feed back all these Infestors, avoid the Fungals, and storm the army, then sure. Things can go MasTeR's way, but there's a lot of criteria that have to be met. A lot of things have to go right here for MasTeR. As both players are maxing out, Mothership is on the way. That'll help. It is a good supportive unit. Massively counterattack. Zelter in position. The wall is a wall. Aquad Zeller on my head towards that 4th, or I guess 5th. Getting into a mineral line for the first time in a long time. Drones are going down. Likewise, that's a lot of Bailings. The Bailings are rolling in, Bobby. Okay, thankfully force field to defend. MasTeR is ready for it. But that's going to be so many Bailings here with the main army. Oh my god. Jesus. Astrea looking quite comfortable here. We're getting into carrier production, but we only have 1 Stargate. We're making 1 carrier at a time. The Skytos transition is not quite what it needs to be. The goal here is to crash into those High Templar. So far, we do land a Fungal. Likewise, storm on the Ravagers. Ooh, the Fungals are insane! The Biles connect! Oh my god, and we're just picking the army apart. And once again, the Biles, they graze the Mothership. It looks like we do break through the initial line of a Ling Ravager. More Lings are on the way. Infestors do survive. Astrea backs off. And Astrea can remax. MasTeR cannot. As long as you have... Oh, we haven't been injecting. We have been missing injects. There we go. Speaking of, as soon as we say that, we realize we're out of lava. So, oh my god, we're injecting very hard right now. Just mass injects layered on top of each other. Because of the lack of lava, MasTer's pushing forward. MasTer can still pull this off. Uh-oh. Yo, the lack of lava, the lack of injects may have just cost Astrea. Feels macro, man. Can we keep up? Oh, that's still a lot of Ling Bane. That's still a lot of Ling Bane. Astrea getting ready for a surround. Likewise, we need some juicy storms. The High Templar are exposed. And how good are the storms going to be? Ooh, 2 High Templar go down. And likewise, so do the rest. Yeah, the Baneling connections are too good. And no storms, or just the one storm. And with that, MasTeR, he gets cleaned up. Sure, we have some units in the sky. We have a carrier, and we have a mothership. True. But we can rebuild with Corruptors. We can get anti-air. MasTer's still trying to break through. But alas, he just doesn't have the army, doesn't have the supply. Here, the soup does not lie. And well played gets called. Astrea takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Astrea will take a lead here in this series, but this was not an easy one. You can see here actually as we have a look at the graphs, the blue line is the Protoss line. And you could see this is when we were going with Glaive Adepts into Stalkers. Like there was a big opportunity for MasTeR to break Astrea with that Stalker aggression, but we missed it. We did kind of miss that timing. Astrea survived it. If you remember, he was able to bile down the Prism. He was able to force some inefficient blinks out of MasTeR. And even though MasTeR had a lot of momentum, had a lot of things in his favor, had the supply in his favor even, was not able to make use of the army. And Astrea, he was able to eventually stabilize. The pendulum swung from one player to the other. Did swing from one to the other. And with that, Astrea did take the series. It was close. Oh, sorry, did take the game. It was close. It was very, very, very close between them. There were still, even in those final moments, there were still opportunities for MasTeR, but just a really rough position, and GG. GG, well played. Here we go. You were this close to being a real animal if you were trying to inflict nothing but TBT on us for 3 hours. True, true. Oh my god. You're not wrong, Bob. You're not wrong. I stayed away from it. I stayed away from it. It was tempting, though. It was tempting. Just to cover Dolan. Just to cover Dolan. As it looks like game 2 is going to be on Crimson Court. Let's go. Let's us go. As we are going to be remaking that lobby. Are going to be setting it up. We can go over the bracket once we wrap up with this series. We'll get there, we'll get there. As this time it looks like our lobby is correct. Our server is correct. And we're getting it. Are settling in. Let's go. So welcome Setsuna in the chat. Welcome Alfonso as well. Alfonso. Ya, papi, ya. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Good to see you. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you've all been enjoying your weekend of StarCraft with the Home Story Cup. Hope you all had a great time as we're settling into our next game. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, going for a 15-15, he knows his openers. We have the Red Zerg player from the land of the Americas, representing Team Virtus Pro. Typically is a Protoss player, but now he's embracing the light, embracing the Zerg. It is Astrea. He wants to know what it's like to smooch. We are settling in, and again, that last game was not the cleanest of games from Astrea. He was being quite greedy, cutting his own corners, which is why he did almost straight up die to the initial Glaive Adept and follow-up Stalker push. But we were pointing out some inefficiencies and a couple of mistakes and missteps here and there from MasTeR that did add up over time, that did allow Astrea to stabilize. And that was a brutal moment because Astrea, when he stabilized, he was ahead in upgrades, he was ahead in economy, ahead in tech, he got away with so much and got ahead in so much, and yeah, that's why Astrea was even able to take up into a greater Spire quite early on, and a Hive quite early on, despite not really making use of those tech structures. He could afford to kind of spend his resources in such a way. But we'll see how MasTeR will adjust and will approach this. I'm not gonna lie, comparing how MasTeR executed the build against Astrea and comparing how he executed it against Orden earlier today, it was the same build. It did feel like MasTeR was a little bit nervous. I think it was nerves just because he forgot his Forge, he forgot his upgrades. If you remember, he eventually threw down the Forge, even though it was late, and he didn't start +1 for a long time. +1 was heavily delayed despite having the Forge as well. Like, it did feel like MasTeR was hyper-fixated on trying to push in and trying to, potentially having kind of the win within his grasp against Astrea, that things kind of fell by the wayside. Or the execution of the build fell by the wayside. So we got to tighten up, man. We got to tighten up. And I do want to believe that we can force an ace match. Based on that last game, it does feel like MasTeR's Protoss is comparable to Astrea's Zerg, if not even better, if MasTeR's, you know, kind of in the driver's seat, or if he's comfortable. We just got to be confident, man. You got to be confident. For now, we're settling in to have our initial openers. Astrea expanding linearly here, taking the third base on the left-hand side. MasTeR doesn't confirm, but he should be aware that hold up, the hatchery is missing. The hatchery should be somewhere, and the Adept can confirm. Tumor does survive. Adept does confirm the opener. It's going to be a gasless opener here out of Astrea. Astrea, this is very greedy. I mean, I thought he was greedy in game 1, and now we're even surpassing that here on Crimson Court. Going for a gasless opener means we're skipping link speed. We're skipping link speed. We have extra drones for mineral income for a faster third base, and we can see Rotorn was about to be thrown down. Astrea just focusing on droning for the time being, eventually Queens. And eventually, yep, Roach production. So a very greedy build here by Astrea. We'll see if he can be punished, as it is going to be a Stargate opener into the Oracle. There is no Void Ray, so the likelihood of this being Glaive Adepts is much lower now, as typically we'd see an Overlord to hunt down we'd see a Void Ray to hunt down the Overlords to get into a hidden Twilight Council. Alas, that is not the case in game 2. So this looks like a much more standard build and a standard setup. I'm a little bit concerned because this means that Astrea won't be punished for his greed. It means that Astrea is going to be able to drone up quite freely here, and I mean, yes, there are oracles to harass, but not much else. So the Twilight Council has been thrown down, this time alongside the Forge. This should be for +1 and Blink. This should be for Blink. So we're getting in towards the mid game. Oracles are harassing. Astrea's cutting workers. We're going for an all-in. Here we go, Astrea. He's not droning up the third base at all. We should have recognized that. The Oracles, they just saw the lack of saturation despite the greedy opener, which means one thing and one thing only. We're going all in. Astrea, he's going all in. Now we confirm with the Queens in the center of the map. We have to get ready back at home. We need shield batteries. We need stalkers. We need units as quickly as possible. We need an army. I don't see shield batteries. There we go. Cannons and shield batteries on the way. They're in production. We need a stronger response here, though, from MasTeR. He does throw down additional gateways just so we can reinforce. Now the rocks are being knocked down. We have a stasis trap here just to try to buy some time. I had no shield battery set up here on the right-hand side. Now we do throw them down. It's going to be a tough hold here for MasTeR. We'll see if he can pull this off. Yeah, the other thing I'm concerned about is that these stack defenses they're quite stacked together. Biles can knock them down quite efficiently. Oracle taking a lot of hits. How many do we have? We have 7 Stalkers. 7 Stalkers so far. No Blink. No Research. No upgrade. Files, they take down one of the Sage Strats. A massive Sage on the Lings. Okay, not a bad start. Reduce Sage to the Lings. Overcharge is popped. Files, the Artisan's Pylon. Oh my, okay, we have a second Pylon. We're all good. Do have a secondary Pylon. Warpins are barely finishing up. The first Pylon goes down. We do depower all of the gateways. The shield battery stays powered, but only the shield battery. With that, we cannot reinforce. The Artosis Pylon goes down. GG gets called. We break the third, and Astrea will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations to Astrea as he does take the series 2-0. Again, was able to go for a gasless opener into a 2-base all-in. MasTeR did confirm when he saw the lack of saturation at the third, but unfortunately just wasn't really set up to defend. Had a late reaction as well. Had already invested into his Forge, and his Twilight Council wasn't able to make use of that. And GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, and yeah, with that, Astrea does take the series. My condolences to MasTeR, but he, held his own, especially in game 1. In game 1, it was more of a back and forth. Here in game 2, Astrea was in control. Astrea was in control of game 2. Congratulations, and with that, let's catch up on the bracket and figure out where we're headed.